Yo, what's going on guys? In today's video we're going to be playing Hog EQ live on top ladder. So hopping in the first match, I'm just going to go with the Hog first play. Looks like he's going to respond with a minion horde here, so right off the bat I think it's probably going to be a minor mortar deck here. That's really the only deck that runs minion horde at the top of ladder, and he's also going to kind of fail that prediction arrows right there. I guess he was trying to hit our firecracker, but luckily we kind of delayed it right here. And by the way guys, also in today's video we're going to be going over some of the most common mistakes people make with Hog EQ, and also some ways to kind of improve your game with it. So yeah, gonna get a pretty nice push off here. Unfortunately the Earthquake comes down pretty late right there on his Skarm. He didn't have enough elixir for it right away, so he does defend pretty fine. They're already off to a pretty nice start just because of those kind of failed arrows by him, so gonna be up like 700 damage almost. And unfortunately we do have to give him the King Tower activation right there. Didn't really have any choice except to kind of waste our Firecracker pretty early just because we had to use it to counter his minion horde. So not really the best start for us, I guess, just from that King Tower activation, but we're still up quite a bit of damage, so pretty happy with this spot. And by the way guys, also in today's video we're going to be using like Cannon in some of the games. We're also going to be using Tesla in some of the games because I feel like both of the decks are quite good, but I kind of prefer Cannon at top ladder, but I do think that Tesla's a little bit better at mid ladder just to have like more air defense against like crazy balloon decks and lava hound decks and whatnot. So yeah, just going to kind of be rotating between the two every here and there. And by the way guys, like with this deck you do kind of want to be quite passive because you can't be quite as aggressive as you can with the queen variation of this deck because you don't have like quite as good offense, I guess you could say, but you have really good defense. And also we're going to get a pretty nice kite there on his minion horde with our Valkyrie. Even though we do take quite a ton of damage, they really defended as best as we could without like a really proper air response there to his minion horde, and at least our Valkyrie will get a couple of shots on his tower here. Now we can just go with the Hog because I'm pretty sure he's very low on elixir. And also I'm going to prediction Earthquake like a potential Skarmy, and he does actually go with the Skarmy there, quite delayed, but we still hit our Earthquake there. And he does also go with a set of arrows there, kind of predicting our skeletons, I guess, but it was a super late set of arrows, so going to work out really well for us right here. And I'm going to set up a Firecracker in the back since he just wasted his arrows, and also going to go with the Hog Rider in front of it. So with this deck you do have to be a little bit more careful with your hogs. Like you kind of want to go with more Hog Firecracker pushes instead of always spamming your hogs right at the bridge like you do with the queen variation of this deck. So you do have to be a little bit smarter sometimes, and also you have to be a little bit careful when you're running a Firecracker deck just because it does always give that free King Tower activation if you kind of play it recklessly. And okay, he's going to go with the Skarmy there. I didn't actually predict it that time. I kind of want to be a little bit more passive just in case you want like a minion horde behind that cannon cart, so I can't really blame myself. And unfortunately our cannon's going to be misplaced right there because I think I kind of got messed up because the cannon cart went into building form right as I placed the cannon, and it kind of pushed it off to the side. That actually happened to me a couple times recently. And I was going to go with the prediction log. You're going to hit his Skarmy, so yeah, we're off to a really nice start right here. Alright, and hopping in the next match, we're going to be up against this guy, so I'm just going to go with my Earthquake first play here. I don't really want to waste my Valkyrie or Firecracker because they're pretty important cards to save with this deck, so looks like he will go with the Bandit first player. I think we might be able to activate our King Tower using a Firecracker plus Ice Spirit. And yeah, looks like we're going to get the perfect timing right there, so really nice King Tower activation. Always really helps a lot against quite a few matchups, like really any match, but it's going to help out. So yeah, really nice. You're going to have to set up kind of an early cannon against his P.E.K.K.A because don't really have any other DPS to put on the board without the Firecracker in hand. And he'll go with the Balaram opposite lane right there, but I think we can log it back into the range of the cannon. Also really good set of skeletons by us kind of allowing his P.E.K.K.A to go behind the minions instead of in front of them, so our tower was able to finish them off really nicely right there. And also a pretty nice set of skeletons there, just kind of buying our Valkyrie time to take out his P.E.K.K.A and also our towers right here. So I'm going to go with the Hog Rider right in front of our Firecracker and Valkyrie because I don't really want to give him the chance to activate his King Tower against our Firecracker right there. That's why I went with the Hog in front of the Valkyrie right there. And Valkyrie will get a couple of shots on his tower, so yeah, already off to a super good start there. Super good defense, and also we do have our King Tower activated, so really nice here. And by the way guys, one of the best tips with this deck is that you really want to be more of like a counter pushing player when you're playing this deck. Like instead of always going super aggressive with hogs as you might with like 2.6 or something, you kind of want to be a little bit different with this deck. Like kind of want to set up Firecrackers like defending like a big giant push or something like that, and then only going with another Hog Rider on their tower like right after you defend. So you kind of want to like always counter push with like a Firecracker or something like that before you go in with the Hog against like quite a few matchups. It's not always true, but it's quite a consistent tip with this deck. So looks like he will fully counter our Hog Rider there with his P.E.K.K.A, but I think we can defend pretty nicely here with the Firecracker. Also going to go with the Valkyrie right here, and maybe we can like pull the P.E.K.K.A towards our Valkyrie using like an Ice Spirit or something like that. And I think the P.E.K.K.A might be in range of our Valkyrie here. Yeah, it is going to go straight towards our Valkyrie. And also a set of skeletons here should pretty much kill the P.E.K.K.A, I think. Gonna defend really nicely here, and he will go with the E-Wiz plus Bandit on our P.E.K.K.A, but still gonna get one hog shot somehow, so really nice here for us. And I don't even think we need to go with the Valkyrie here on his Bandit plus E-Wiz. We can just defend pretty nicely there with the set of skeletons and also the Ice Spirit, so yeah, really good here. And also going to be using the tip I was telling you guys about, because we're just counter pushing here with these Hog Riders, always making sure we have like a Firecracker down before we go in with the Hog, just so that we have a little bit of defense against like his P.E.K.K.A that he's probably going to use most of the time on our Hog Riders. So going to kind of help us out here quite nicely, because that extra Firecracker that we just had counter pushing really allowed us to defend his P.E.K.K.A super nicely there, even though we spent 4 elixir on our Hog Rider. And yeah, he will go with the cannon. They're also minions, but I think we're going to defend pretty fine right here. We don't even need to waste the Valkyrie. I'm always trying to save the Valkyrie whenever I can, and his E-Wiz might get a little bit of damage, but looks like we do kind of catch it there with the Hog. And also going to go with an Ice Spirit here, hoping to freeze his P.E.K.K.A and maybe allow our Hog to get one shot on his tower. Looks like it does get that shot there. So at this point we just need like one more log and also another Earthquake on his tower. So yeah, really clean game right here. I think we're going to be able to win here. Should cycle back to another Earthquake just before his troops get too close to our tower. So they're going to pick up a really nice win here, and that will be a good game. Alright, hopping in the next match, we do have Hog in our starting hand here, so I'm just going to go with the Hog first play. It's always pretty nice to go with Hog first play when you're running this deck. The only real exception is if you think your opponent might be running like a Graveyard deck or like kind of maybe like Sparky deck or something like that, but even against Graveyard decks it can be quite good sometimes. You just don't always want to give him that really good King Tower activation at the start, and seeing that he has Skeleton King plus Snowball, it actually might be a Graveyard deck right here. He does have Hunter as well, so I think I'm just going to go with my Firecracker here just to like get a bit of chip damage on his tower and also finish off his Hunter, but he does go with arrows there, so I think it probably is going to be a Graveyard deck here. Not really too sure what else it could be, but yeah, he's going to go with his Graveyard really aggressively right there first play, and we unfortunately don't really have the best cycle to defend his Graveyard here, so we might take a little bit of damage, because Tesla isn't really too good against Graveyard, but kind of was forced to use it right there, and his Hunter will actually get quite a lot of damage on our tower, so yeah, a little bit unlucky of a start right there, but I think we're in a fine spot right here either way, because still can just like go opposite lane here. I'm just going to go with the Hog in the back right here, just to like make him spend the maximum amount of time before he goes with like a Tornado or like a building on our Hog Rider, and yeah, just going to kind of wait and see what he plays here. He's going to go with a Skeleton King and also a Giant Skeleton, so maybe he's actually playing like a bit of a different version than I was expecting right here, but should be fine for us either way. I think we can defend pretty nicely here with our Valkyrie, and Firecracker's also going to splash down everything really nicely right there, so really perfect defense. And actually I think this guy might be running Fisherman as well, because I think I did face like a similar deck earlier, so yeah, going to be a little bit more passive with my Hog Riders. You don't really want to be too aggressive, because I know that you can just go with like a Fisherman on it at any time, so I'm just going to set up a high Tesla here just to kind of block his Hunter so he can't really go with another Graveyard right away, or if he does go with the Graveyard, it's just going to kind of get wrecked by our tower, because the Hunter's just going to die really easily to the Tesla right there. And he's just going to give us a free Earthquake on his Zappies there, because I know Zappies die to Earthquake plus Log, so I'm not really too worried about them. And he will go with like a really aggressive Graveyard once again here, and he does have the Fisherman here it looks like, but Skeleton's also going to get one shot on his tower right there, so I'd say it's pretty fine for us right here. We can just go with the Firecracker against his Skeleton King, and he does have a fully charged ability, so we do have to be a little bit careful here depending on what he wants to do, but then we can just get another Valkyrie down if he decides to go with the ability right here, so should be fine either way. Okay, and he does go with the ability right there, but we can just log it away pretty nicely. You're also hitting the Hunter, so yeah, I think we should be fine here. Also going to get like the Firecracker down. We can kind of outcycle his arrows pretty nicely here in this matchup, I think, so should be fine either way. Going to kind of distract his Fisherman with the Ice Spirit right there, it looks like. And okay, unfortunately the Hog doesn't actually even get a shot on his tower right there. Really good Snowball by him, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to break through with our Hog, seeing that he does have Fisherman and also Snowball. So not really too sure we're going to get too much damage in this matchup, but really nice Ice Spirit there, hitting 2 Skeletons from his Graveyard. And yeah, we're still in a pretty fine spot here. Not really up in damage, but not really down too much either, so I think we should be fine here. Firecracker is going to do a pretty nice job against those Zappies, even though he will arrow it away pretty quickly. And he does also go with like the Skelly King ability right there. Not really too sure if that was the best ability by him. The Valkyrie is going to deal with it super nicely right there. And yeah, also going to go with the Firecracker right here behind the Hog, kind of predicting that Hunter, because it's going to be pretty hard to actually get Hog hits on his tower, seeing that he does also have a Hunter to counter our Hog Riders. So going to kind of have to get chip damage using our Earthquakes and our Firecrackers and stuff like that more often than our actual Hog Riders, I think. But I will go with another Hog Rider. You're going to go with the Firecracker, kind of distracting like a potential Fisherman or something. We do end up catching it right there, so going to get 2 Hog hits on his tower, and it may seem like kind of a wasted Firecracker right there, but it is still quite nice for us. And Yeah, you can't really be afraid to use your Firecracker kind of aggressively sometimes with this deck, because in certain matchups the Firecracker really doesn't get very much value, so you'd have to be a little bit clever with it at times, and we did a pretty good job right there of distracting the Fisherman with it. And gonna get another Valkyrie down here on his kind of leftover Skeleton King ability, and luckily the Hunter doesn't actually splash onto our tower there. I was kind of scared of it, and we do go with kind of a high Tesla right there. I was kind of meaning to go with an Ice Spirit instead, but a little bit unfortunate for us. I think we should be fine either way. We're going to get another Firecracker down here against this really huge push, but I think we might be fine right here. Going to go with an Earthquake on his graveyard, and usually Earthquake plus Log does deal with his graveyards pretty nicely, so even though he's getting a little bit of chip damage each time, I'm not really too worried here. I think we should defend fine with the Valkyrie, and as long as we get like an Earthquake or two on his tower before we finish off the game here, I think we might be fine, but we kind of just have to like block the bridge at this point, so he can't really like tank his graveyards with anything. And yeah, just gonna go with the high Valkyrie. You're gonna also just like make sure to like stall his giant skeleton as long as possible here with our Ice Spirit and whatnot, and gonna go with the defensive Earthquake here against his graveyard. It's gonna be a super close game right here. Okay, skeleton does get one hit. Wow, I think we just won by 1 HP. Really crazy game. Nice win. Alright, and hopping in the next match, we're gonna be up against this guy, so I'm still kind of just reeling over that last match. I pretty much never won any match by just a single HP in Clash Royale. I think that's probably like the second time it ever happened to me, so really nice win there. I wasn't really expecting his graveyard to get so many last second hits, but pretty nice win nonetheless. And looks like this guy's going to go with a Mother Witch against our skeletons, so he will get quite a few hoggies out of that, but we're going to defend pretty nicely with our Log and also an Ice Spirit just to make sure it doesn't get any chip damage on our tower. And he does pull off the King Tower activation there with the Fisherman, and he also is going to go with a pretty aggressive RG right at the river, but I think our Valkyrie plus Cannon should defend pretty nicely right there. We also went with like the Cannon kind of high there so we couldn't Fireball our left tower and our Cannon, because I'm pretty sure this guy's probably going to be playing Fireball in his deck, but there's also a chance he could be playing like Lightning or something like that, but should be fine either way, because Fireball is going to be quite good against our Firecracker, but also Lightning would be quite good against our Cannon. But if he's running Fireball, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to kill our Cannons, and if he's running Lightning, it's going to be pretty hard for him to kill our Firecrackers, so should be good either way. He will go with the Fireball right here, so pretty fine by me. And he also go with the Tombstone against our Hog Rider, but we're going to get a pretty nice timed Log right there. Going to kill it before it gets too much damage on our Hog Rider, and it will allow us to get one shot in his tower. And also our Valkyrie's going to deal with his Skelly King pretty nicely right there, so already off to a pretty good start right here. Trip down most of his towers pretty nicely here, and he'll go with the Mother Witch against our Valkyrie, but I'm going to go with an Earthquake here on it just to chip down his Piggy, and also just to take away like half of the Mother Witch's health pretty much. And yeah, I think we can just defend it pretty easily with an Ice Spirit right here in a second, and gonna have both of his towers DPS down pretty nicely here, like both at a pretty similar HP level, so we can really decide which lane we want to go in. I'm not really too sure which lane I'll go in, maybe just like the opposite lane that he tries to go in right here. So yeah, he's going to go with the Fireball once again on our Firecracker, so even though he can't really break through with his RGs, he is getting quite a bit of chip damage just off of his Fireballs alone, so not really the best for us right here, but I think we should maybe get a Hog hit. He does go with the Log as well there, so Ice Spirit wasn't able to connect on the Fisherman or anything right there, so wasn't able to get the Hog hit right there. But I think we can defend pretty fine here with like a Cannon plus Firecracker, and also a set of Skellies there, but unfortunately we do have Drop Glitch on our Skeletons, so kind of messed up a little bit right there. But I think the Fisherman will actually destroy our Skellies pretty nicely right there, so he's only going to get one Mother Witch Hog, and we can also go with the Hog Rider behind our Valkyrie here just to like hopefully let the Hog break through a little bit better. But he's going to get a pretty nice Fisherman right there, so pretty well played by him. And also it looks like his Fisherman's actually going to pull our Valkyrie straight towards his tower right there, so we're going to get one Valkyrie shot right there. And for some reason he does keep on going with his RGs at the river instead of at the back, so I think that should be pretty nice for us right here. Going to go with an Ice Spirit as well on his RG, which is pretty nice against his RG. Like I feel like Ice Spirit just so underrated against like quite a few different win conditions. Like Ice Spirit's super good against RGs, against Hog Riders, against Balloons, against Sparkies and all of that stuff, so I feel like Ice Spirit's actually really nice, and maybe one of the best spirits in the game alongside Fire Spirit, and also Electro Spirit's also quite up there, so there's quite a few good spirits in the game right now. I'm also going to go with that Earthquake here on his Mother Witch, because I know that Earthquake plus Log can kill his Mother Witch, so just want to take it off the board as quickly as possible. I'm going to go with the low Cannon right here, because we do have to also keep in mind that he can also Fireball or Firecracker, so we don't even have to go with the Cannon kind of in the more safe spot, because I know that he's just going to have to pick which one he wants to Fireball. And also I think our Earthquake will come down pretty nicely there against his Tombstone, maybe a little bit delayed, but also Firecracker going to get a ton of damage right there against his Skeleton King and Tower, and should be able to defend pretty fine here with like a Valkyrie right on top of all of his stuff right there, and I think his Zappies will die pretty nicely to our Skeletons there in the right lane. Also a Log should finish off most of his Skelly King ability, so yeah, gonna go with another low cannon here. Don't really have to go with it too high up, because I know he has to decide which one he wants to fireball, so he's gonna fireball the cannon, but I think our Firecracker will do pretty good work right here. And yeah, just get one RG shot on our tower, but we're still in a pretty good spot here. Gonna go with the Hog plus EQ. He's still gonna have to play something against our Hog Rider to make sure it doesn't get a shot on his tower, and I think our Firecracker might get a little bit of chip damage as well. So yeah, really good spot right here. He's gonna fireball our Firecracker, but for some reason he does keep on repeating his RGs at the river, so he's not really gonna break through too well, I think, because if you keep repeating the same thing, you're never really gonna break through if you don't break through the first time. So yeah, I think our Hog will get to the tower most likely. It's gonna get one shot off, and at this point we just need like a Log plus EQ to finish off the game. So yeah, really nice win here, really good video, especially that 1 HP win. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!